Hello city, hello world, and welcome to another installation of the Gospel Jazz Connection. Wow, it's been another week that's come and gone, man. It's blessed. It's a nice day in the neighborhood in the Los Angeles area. Sunshine, cool breeze, and we've got that smooth jazz. Paul Hardcastle, my favorite, playing in the background. So you know what? What we do on the Gospel Jazz Connection is we bring situations, commentary, problems, issues, whatever you call it. The names may change, but the importance is still the same. It means something to you. So we bring in a panel of experts each and every week that's able to give you their interpretation as seen through their eyes. And by the end of the show, hopefully you're able to find a solution that works for you. And we play the smooth jazz you can hear in the background. And man, do I love smooth jazz. It soothes the savage beast. So that's, in a nutshell, what the premise of the Gospel Jazz Connection is. I am D Nice, and I've got a smooth group of people today and a special guest. You'll be able to hear her music. You'll be able to vibe with her vibe. But until then, for the next 60 minutes, I want you to sit back and relax and watch with your ears. Song you hear is going to come from one of our hosts. We're praying for her today. She's just getting over the flu, but she's our own Makita, and this song is special for you. So here it goes. Makita, to you with love. No greater love.
Nothing than the love I have for you. See, no one can love me like you do. It's so pure, so honest, and so true. Abiding in your love, so my heart will overflow. Oh, you breathe the life back into me. Now everyone will know.
No greater love. Okay, wow. We're back. I hope you enjoyed that. No greater love. That's my song. It just sets the tone for me. It's whatever gets you through the night, that gets me there. Okay, Makita, get well so we can have your face in the place, and we can also have you back over there doing what you do musically. And we've been too long waiting to hear your voice. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. These are the players. Coming to my left, out of chute number 1. This young lady's been in the public relations field in all aspects for a long time. I'm going to let her tell you how long and how deep she's been involved with it. But she's a news anchor. She's a reporter. She does her own projects. She edits. She does everything. She probably runs the camera too. But this lady has just been a godsend. And, you know when you're in presence of a woman of God, and it's always good to find that in today's world. So help me to welcome none other than Miss Evelyn Gemini Palmer. Yes. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
I am excellent.
Yes, you are. You were talking earlier about putting you on the spot and just like, bam, here it is. So that's what we did. That's what we do. we just throw people in the middle of the just in the middle of you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the walk. Miss M just walked in, and I'm just like forcing her to come in, because I got a chair off site for her so she doesn't even be seen on camera, because she doesn't want to be seen on camera.
Oh.
So I put a chair all the way in the corner so no one can see her, and just she had to be bothered, but yet still she wants to just go ahead. So just come on in and be a part of this team. Otherwise, we're just gonna go ahead and talk about you all the time. Okay. Next up, we have our guest for the day. This young lady, I met her. We already know who Linda is. Linda Coleman Willis. She's not here. She just got back from Women's Conference, and her voice is gone. Linda, get well soon.
Yes.
So, meantime, in between times, she brought this young lady in to do the television show on the Millennial Journals that she does. And meantime, in between time, when I met her, the spirit was just so strong. And when I'm doing the production of the show and directing of the show, I just listened to her, and this young lady, being 25 years old, just was so far ahead mentally and spiritually, and just knew what she wanted to do. And we talked afterwards when I walked into her car, and it was like, okay, this is what I want to do. This, I'm gonna do it, and whatever. I'm like, okay, let's get it rolling. Then, coming out of the middle shoot, coming to you from the East Coast, 5 months into this LA scene, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome, and we'll hear her music a little later on. This is the one, the only VonTrue.
Woo woo! Hello.
What's up with you, girl?
Hi. How are you?
How you be?
I'm great.
Good. You look great.
Oh, thank you.
You ready to rock? You ready to do this, right?
Let's go.
We're gonna hear some of your music. See what happens?
You be killing me.
Yeah, she's like, come on, let's do this thing. No, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to hear some of her music later. So, let's just go ahead down the end of the row here. And this young man that we have coming to you from the far right, your left, depending on how you look. Yeah, depending on how you looking at the picture that you're seeing. Is the Funkmeister himself.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's been around a long time doing this thing in the music industry, and you know, he's taking time from his job to come in, and because you know, when you work a 9 to 5, they don't want to let you go. So I know he's had to grease a lot of palms to be here, like he does on the Fridays, and so I wish he was greasing my palm, but yet and still, you know what I'm saying, that's what it is. You got to pay to play, and so they let him come in, and he's paying the price by being able to share his wealth of knowledge to you for free. Okay, we're not passing any offering plates around here, church. So, I mean, those listening, just sit back and just enjoy what he's giving to you.
You own me today.
Yes, this is Troy, the Box Mason, better known as Elder Troy. Welcome.
How you doing there, brother?
It's
ladies,
good, man.
how are you?
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent.
Everybody full of smiles around here.
Yeah, aren't they? Doesn't that make the world go round?
Yeah,
man.
But you know, only palms I'm greasing is when I get on my knees and pray. So
there
I
you
just
go.
keep on.
No, go ahead. Give your money up to the right. You talk about tithes all the time.
All
you know what I'm saying?
time.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It
Yeah,
works.
he said it works.
Malachi 3:8, y'all. Read.
Listen to him. He said the tithe. A lot of people I know ain't out there tithing. Okay.
All right.
And so you guys listen to this brother and find the blessing.
It works.
But yeah, you know. And also, you're a part of this new group, that venture that you're doing. You're in the studio with this new group, Funkalicious. So tell us a little bit about the project.
Well, Funkalicious is about George Clinton calls us the Galactic Babies.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're not a spinoff from them, but we're actually the Galactic Babies. You know, we're from Funkanopolis, and
right.
We just do our thing like that. But we do have our single out. Where, as a matter of fact, in 2 weeks or the first week of next month, we are doing our video. So we're going to be shooting our video.
Okay.
On our single Snakes and Snails.
Okay.
And you guys come out and support. I mean, everywhere we go, we turn it out.
No, that's a good thing, because like I said, for our new listeners out there, our younger listeners, let's put it out there, our younger listeners, like the young lady beside you, we were talking and we were just having a good time the other day fellowshipping with Jazzy Jordan, and he brought up George Clinton and the Parliament and all Punkadelics, and the look on her face, I mean, she's very calm, poised, and polished at all times, but the look she gave for a minute was like, okay, yeah, I got you, I'm listening to you, but who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
And so he was trying to describe it, and I couldn't get the music quick enough to get on there. But you know, so a lot of youngsters don't know who the George Clinton era is and all that. It's an older era,
but like, they know the music because
once they hear the music,
music been flipped over to
exactly.
the hip hop scene,
the sample
all the gangster rap, all that.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, there's people sampling your music too. Have you gotten that money yet? Maybe we should pass off and play it over that way. See, okay,
I'm waiting on something.
I got you. Hey, the check's in the mail.
Come on in,
okay.
You know what? I received that.
Okay,
Bring
yeah.
it all in,
right.
from the east to west and the south.
Now, talk about the East and West. We got this young lady coming from the East Coast talking to us today, and we'll get ready to talk to her in a minute. But meantime, while we're sitting there chilling, I really want to play one of her songs here right now so you guys can really get a understanding of how she puts it down.
Oh, yeah.
So this music here, this one's called Space Racing. And so let's sit back and enjoy this one here for a minute. Space Racing with our one only VonTrue. Enjoy this one. We owe you.
Check this out, Pride.
Real.
Let's go.
That's my brother Pride is on here. South Central Cartel. Yeah, there he is, right?
South Central Cartel. How you doing, friend?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're going to retrieve this music again. We're going to try this again. Here we go. Let me see.
Big Pride, I'm going to call you after the show.
Okay, let's see. This one's Dancing on the Moon. My bad.
But you want the butter? Never wanna never. But you wanna love her? Oh, now you wanna cuddle? Cause you see me dancing, level up. Cause you see me dancing, open up, looking for your passion. I've been on a roll, tough communication. I'm about to blow, y'all thought I was prancing. What's up with the cool love? Coming, on me so strong. Keep your head focused straight, bulldog. Celebration, high power, all out. I didn't see the money come a little too short. I didn't see no stop signs, so it's good though. I didn't see the dark side coming to ya. Crazy with a little love for two, yo. Now look at that, this is the royal. Now look at that, this is the royal. You can see it's coming through me so strong. And look at that, I'm dancing on the royal. Now we're done, I don't wanna get you in tune. Spring is coming, I don't wanna get you in bloom. Timing in the rocks, go at home, my challenge. 100 got us cut, so I hold my balance. Gotta keep your cards up, don't hold me balance. Universal flow, I wanna raise full life. Oh my. Think I lose control with you every night, every time I listen to the royal. Now look at that, listen to the royal. You can see it's coming through me so strong. And look at that, I'm dancing on the royal. What up now? I'm up, come up now. Love up, what up now? Shut it down before you see me down. Now I'm in my power, give it to it. Power, give it to it. Silence it, don't miss the score. I'll give it to it. Come on, I'ma get you through it. Come on, I'ma get you through it. Look at this costume. In the past, you always thought that you might step into my flow like a toy. Now I gotta hit you with the tools. I know we can cross side too. Now look at that, I'm dancing on the royal. Now look at that, I'm dancing on the royal. Now look at that, I'm dancing on the royal. You can see it's coming through me so strong. Now look at that, I'm dancing on the royal. So what's up with the cool love? Now look at that, I'm dancing on the royal. Coming on me so strong.
Yes, indeed. VonTrue's music coming at you, and that was Dancing on the Moon. Okay, so now, Ms. VonTrue. Now, this is a young lady. She writes all her music. She does it all. We're trying to get some more things happening along the line, but that's her music. She wrote it, produced it, basically. was the final word on it, all of it. So, young lady, Dancing on the Moon. Let's start out by asking you, let's go back a little bit.
Yeah, let's go.
So let's go back and talk about your humble beginnings. What made you coming to it? So let's go back to you. How did you start, and then go from there?
How I started doing music, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a fashion design degree, completely opposite, right? I kind of jumped into, I've always been writing music like off and on since I was like 7. Music, poems, I've always been like super creative. But then I kind of paused for a bit, and as I was growing older, I had found less and less of opportunities to release of like my stress and like negative energy and like things that just like wasn't really pleasing what I needed to do in life. Mm-hmm. So I just went back to the pen and pad and just started, going back to releasing myself in that manner. About a couple years later, I went off to New York. I was living in Harlem at the time. I would travel to Brooklyn to go record some music in a really cool dude's basement. So
okay, gotcha.
So I got my beginning in that.
Okay, now back to your family.
Yeah.
You got siblings?
Yeah.
Tell us a little about your family, your siblings.
Yeah. So I grew up in a home with 2 older sisters and a younger brother, and I also have an older brother. I'm a middle child, though.
Okay, I got you. So feeling the squeeze of the middle child, you had to find your place in whatever. Okay,
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
squeeze it on the pen and pad.
what you got to, that's what you got to do. You just got to find a way to formulate your ideas and be heard. Well, that's a good thing, because being in the middle, sometimes you can be overlooked because of the noise coming from the other one, and you got both ears stereophonic with something. So that being done, you said that you were a fashion designer, so you went to school for that, evidently. So we're talking to the young ladies that are listening, tuning in, to tell them about the little journey there of the school thing and how that music, why school and how.
Honestly, getting out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just living freely,
Right,
My mother was like, you're getting out of this house and you're going to college. So I finally found something that I was down with. I was like, all right, I'm going to pursue this for 4 years.
Right.
I went to college. And I went to our Institute of Pittsburgh, and I graduated with a bachelor's in fashion design.
Okay, I got you. So what was it about fashion that got you? I mean, you've always liked to dress, or what it was?
So I also draw a bit too.
Okay,
So like I
wow.
always would find myself I find like books about like drawing croquis. Croquis are like the little fashion figures that you see when they're producing large lines.
Right.
So I just would always kind of draw those things. I love going to a fabric store. I will spend 10 hours in Joann's.
Really?
I would be so captured by this different fabric.
Right?
We definitely.
But that's so easy. That's so easy for somebody to sit back and say, "Oh, you like this for an hour?" They'll know where to find you for 10 hours. Just drop you right off of there, and you're there after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So now that you did the design part of it, and you find out what your passion is, then you come and go into a job, evidently. Your mom told you to get out the house.
Yeah.
So what kind of job were you looking at now that you got that degree? Who did you
So I
find
work for all types of retailers, from Macy's doing visual merchandising to BCBG Max Asria to Adidas was my last job before I moved here. I worked for a partner company off of their corporate offices, like overseeing some things, doing visual merchandising. It was a really remote position. It made my own schedule. It was pretty easy.
Got you. Okay.
It was love. It was easy.
Okay. So it was something you like to do.
Yeah, it was something that I like to do.
Right.
Talk to people, get them excited, give them free stuff. Who wouldn't love that, right?
Right. You still got them contacts? Adidas, you guys catch her after the show. Free stuff? Everybody likes that free stuff, especially Adidas. Yeah, Adidas, if it's free, it's free. Okay, so now you packed yourself up and decided to come out to LA.
Yeah.
How was that decision?
I
I know your parents, everybody must have said,
The
okay.
stank eye, did I get so many? Nah, so
Why?
I was thinking about it for a very long time, but it was like an utter thought. Like, it was so minimal. I was told, like, selected people. Not everybody really knew, like, I'm going to move to LA. Only a very few people knew that. So then after I worked the job for 2 years, realized there was really, truly no growth for me in the system. I asked for a transfer, it didn't come through. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take control of my own life, and I'm just going to make this decision. And, I'm going to risk it all. And because I'm very passionate, I know it's true to me. And it's like a knowing that I had about what I needed to do. So I just made that move.
Okay. Now, after you made that move and you already had it in your head and your mom didn't like it, because I'm sure they said, okay, you're coming from a job to out there. Who do you have in LA? Who did you know in L.A.?
Haha.
See what I'm saying? Okay, talk about that, because I mean that is a stretch.
Well, that's a leader, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that was a stretch. Nobody out here, so you decided just to come out here on your own and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good journey. So now you get in the car to come out here to L.A. Now, when you first sit down, now talk about that part.
Okay.
Do you really want to get that gritty?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Bring it on.
That's Gospel Jazz Connection behind the scenes.
We get transparent in
Yes, we do.
Hey, I'll be real with y'all.
Okay, please.
It's VonTrue.
Uh-huh.
So I come here. I'm supposed to. First off, I'm gonna be real. I come here with $137 in my bank account.
Wow.
Wow.
$137.
Wow.
No lie. So I'm supposed to be getting this apartment. Like, they were supposed to give me my final check, from that job. It didn't transfer in time when I was supposed to go get the apartment.
Right.
So my landlord's like, I can't take a check because you're new. And
Right.
I'm just like, how did you know?
Well, out of state check. How did you know? Yeah, really.
You know?
Yep.
So I literally scrambled, contemplated on sleeping on the street for a couple nights, and realized I finally caught an Uber to some loan company that I got a loan from, and was able to sleep on my apartment floor for the first week.
Okay.
Until that check came through.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
God was at work.
Pretty real.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So at the time, let me go back for a second. At the time, were you a believer at the time when you first came out here? Did you already knew that there was a God that was going to sustain you or whatever? Did you come out here just on it, or was it blind faith, or was it that God lived, or what happened?
Had I not known that, I would not be here.
Okay, got you.
I would
Wow.
not be here.
Wow.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you followed that voice, the inner voice. You followed that star
Yeah, absolutely.
down to the manger, which it was just the grass. It wasn't a hotel. It was just the grass. Okay, in the manger, and so you found your way here. So now that you're sleeping on the floor and whatever, then what did you know? What I'm saying?
The check finally came through, and I was able to use that other money to, accumulate a few things, a few furnishings, scrambling, looking for a job. Unfortunately, what I really didn't understand was the ways of LA. So it's completely different from the East Coast moving to the West Coast, and I really had to understand that everyone, especially trying to come up in the entertainment industry here, you have 4 or 5 roommates and 3 or 4 jobs. It's back home I was just working a full-time job with benefits for 2 years, so it's just completely switching that perspective. I gotta hustle, I gotta grind, I gotta get this. I mean, I was already on my toes with it, looking for opportunity, but I'm not type to look greedy, oh, where's the op, where's the op? I'm just hi, how are you? How can we connect? Things like that. So that's just kind of how it worked out for me. I came in tune with some people who do music. Wasn't the greatest experience. Got a good song. Right. Wasn't the greatest experience. Wasn't the greatest spirits that I found out. Got a crazy roommate. Almost had to call the police 3-4 times. Oh my God. It was crazy. And I started to get a restraining order. I prayed to God. I was like, God, when he's crying, God,
right.
This is what I get for being fearful that and not believing in you that my rent was going to get paid.
Right.
Bringing somebody in here, and I said I didn't want a roommate.
Right.
That's just lack of knowledge and lack of knowing and being scared of what the unknown basically. And honestly, the future is unknown. We plan, but ultimately, you really never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So basically,
that's right.
Being in industry with
that's how you're supposed to live anyway.
Well, you know what? That's what you're supposed to. But like I said, I could see you being a young lady, a young sister, out here with nothing in your pocket, 20-something years old, a young 20, or still a baby, okay, trying to traverse this LA scenario where everybody's got a business card, all the players and pimps is out there looking for God milk, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that was a whole kind of thing to jump into, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So no, that's why I wanted to make it clear for those listening, the young ladies that are connecting with you, that's listening, saying, man, that's me, what do I do? How do I go through this? Yeah. And we're just showing them that there is a lessons learned from this one here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back, and the one that we were talking about before, Space Racin.
Space Racin.
Yeah, so we got it up on deck, so we're going to listen to it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Space Racin with VonTrue on the Gospel Jazz Connection. Sit back and enjoy this one.
Enjoy.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Racing, yeah, I know. Chasing as I glow. Crazy, I see you go. Spaces from this globe. Toxins have gotten running inside your brain, yeah. Spoiled you rotten, you ain't the same, yeah. Caution, no caution, yellow tape, yeah. Flowing as you run inside my brain, yeah. Wanna get you here, wanna get you here, wanna get you here, but I just gotta stop and stare. But daydreaming won't get me there as I shut out all my fears. Perspiration, let's go. Jealousy, oh jealousy, I know. I get the better see telepathy, I blow no smoke. Just so that galaxies control my float. So control your smoke. Running, I'm running like hella moon. Here I come in and you slip up into something and I catch World War I in. If I ain't so loving, cause the mirrors they're rubbing. Running, I'm running like hella moon. Here I come in and you slip up into something and I catch World War I in. Go fighting so loving, cause the mirrors they're rubbing. Cause the mirrors they're rubbing. Cause the mirrors they're rubbing. Up in natural space, can't get no higher. They say it's dangerous, but we love to play with fire. You say you love me, but we suffer from the liars. Can you come up, won't you wake up, I'll send the flighter. Spacey astronaut, I'll cut the wire. Galaxies will tremble from the love vibes. Zero gravity, you running from inside ya. Cosmos and atoms, don't you burn alive. Running, I'm running like hella moon. Here I come in and you slip up into something and I catch World War I in.
This is another Makita Jam. This is going out for all the girls and ladies in the house. My sisters enjoy it on KTYM. That media. Gospel Jazz Connection. Enjoy it. Makita.
Hey, sister girl. I wanna thank you. For everything that you've done for me. You're always there whenever I need. Giving love unconditionally. And I wanna tell you I see. It don't matter what we're going through. I get up off my knees and I come to you. And when we stand together, gonna make it. Nobody but my sister. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. Even when you tell me that's alright. You know it's alright. Going on, this thing tight. With nobody but sister. Sister girl. Listen, I came to tell you. When I did everything to fulfill my dreams, you were always there just believing in me. You said, girl, you gotta believe. Now look at me, it don't matter what we're going through. I get up on my knees and I come to you. We stand together, gonna make it to nobody but my sister. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. Even when you tell me that's alright. Gonna keep this thing tight. With nobody but my sister. Nobody but my sister. Yeah. Listen to me, Tiffany. Oh, yeah. Remember the time when I chose the wrong man? You did everything you could to understand. Stayed right by my side. You let me know everything's alright. Sister girl, I came to remind you. Oh yeah. Remember the time I almost lost my home? Seemed like all I had was about to be gone. Your clothes are my clothes, your shoes are my shoes. No matter what we lost, we always had food. We're gonna make it. Nobody but my sister. Nobody but you, girl. Sometimes I'm right. Even when I'm wrong, tell me that's alright. It's alright. Yeah. Nobody. Yeah. Come on, yeah.
Sing it for me, say, oh, 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 yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, you better sing, girl.
Girl, you better sing that song.
Oh my goodness, Stacey. Tiffany Lang, ladies and gentlemen. You better understand. No, Nisa Shanae and Marilyn. I can't wait to put this on my resume. Thank you very much. You know that. Now remember I told you, your clothes is gonna be my clothes. Your shoes is gonna be mine. Okay. We're just gonna swip and swap. And that's what it's about, my girls. Keep your head up. That's how we do. Stay encouraged. Keep it positive. Oh yeah. For the Father, for the Son, and for the Holy Ghost. 3 in 1. Oh yeah. It's for Mama Nim, Auntie Nim, Cousin Nim, Grandma Nim, all your ladies.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. You better sing, girl.
For the ladies.
Nobody but my sister. My sister.
That was Makita. Thanks a lot, Makita. I know the sisters in here were just rocking it. Y'all was seeing them in here, and that's also for that's all. We ain't gonna leave you out. We ain't gonna leave you. And Miss M is here in the lobby, so I know that she was liking that one too. That's her song on the cut. All right, so now that we've gotten through that one, we're gonna get back to our guest of honor today. That's talking about the real. And the song that Makita gave us, the words, if you listen to it, is so prolific and it tied in to what you were talking about in your journey. And that was kind of cool. Because like I said, I know, but it would be better if you had the sisters, but you didn't have them out here. So you had to make your own way. And like I said, I'm sure you found your sisters, somebody you can relate to. Okay. And so that's a good thing to be able to have the lamb in the thicket, so to speak, somebody that God sends. He works through people, and so He's always going to have people there when you need them the most. That's going to be able to do it out of the kindness of their heart because God led them, not because they want something from you. And so that's a good thing. So we're back, ladies and gentlemen, on Gospel Jazz Connection with VonTrue, and I've got these other 2 hosts getting ready to dissect the conversation and get real with it. So this Gospel Jazz Connection, you guys do what you do. And today's conversation is your will. Okay? So God gives us free will. Mm-hmm. And so we do what we want to. Sometimes we go on our own will. Mm-hmm. And then later down we found out that was our will. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is the will itself is an affirmation of what we have as far as our desires, as far as our mentality, as far as a part of our heart, but doesn't necessarily mean the spirit. Because the spirit is something different. When it's God's will that is totally being led by the spirit, then that's the spirit aspect of it. But will itself and the way I will this to happen, I will that to happen, I will, that comes from the affirmation of ourselves. So that being said, that's the name of the conversation is the will. Okay, so let's will this into doing it.
Well, I got a question.
Do you?
Yeah, Miss True, VonTrue. Who did you listen to when you were, that got you inspired about your music?
Good stuff.
Good question, right? Definitely. I call myself a flow artist, right? Mm-hmm. So when I feel like singing, I sing. When I feel like rapping, I rap. Like right. I just just do my thing. I can tell you some inspirations about when I was growing up for sure. My mother, every Sunday, we all had to clean the house, So she would come out with Justin Timberlake, Tina Marie, Prince, Michael, you know what I mean? Like all those traditional sounds. Jill Scott, Nelly Furtado, India Arie.
Yeah, but who did you gravitate towards mostly? What was that song?
All of them. Didn't you hear all of them?
Well, that was the artist. That was just the artist, But I mean, what song that your mom put on that
touched
just
you
got
the most?
You?
Yeah.
It's like I know it's a few of them.
So many.
Yeah.
But being a writer, I can understand where he's coming from. Yeah.
Throw a few of them out. Okay,
She like all of it.
Yes, she does.
She just likes music. Like you can hear it in her sound.
Right.
She's got a lot of different elements going on in there.
That one that you just go, oh, that's my song.
Like for us, like growing up, Whitney, you just knew. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
Whitney on
Yeah,
too, right? Oh, okay. We're going to get on that one now, too. Okay, so.
I can't be too specific about that. The sound of Tina Marie's voice and like how she like hit those notes.
Oh, that's good.
I gotta capture that. Like,
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Like, you know?
And that was a sweet
choice.
lady. I worked with her before.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Makita sang background
She sang,
and opened for Tina.
Yeah.
So we know Tina.
Oh, yeah.
I like how you said beautiful lady. I've worked with her before because from that I took, you don't mean necessarily her outside, but what's inside. And I would like to know from you, what's inside of you that some of the listeners would be surprised to know, that you've shown great persistence, leadership, audacity, and tenacity. I'm proud of you for doing that.
Thank you.
But what is something that's inside of you that people may not know just from listening to your music?
That's good.
That is a very good question.
The hot seat is hot.
Right, definitely. Inside me that people may not know. So like I always used to be super sweet and super like kind and quiet and just to myself. And I had to break through all that because I realized that was my systematic order, my programming as to how I was dealing with life when it really wasn't doing well for myself. So I had to break through all that and really learn to be myself.
God's will.
You know?
Right? God's will.
Right.
Bringing her out of that shell so that she could reach
correct.
people through music.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. Because even like singing, no, nothing bad on you, mom. But like singing, like no, seriously. Because like going through like I was just like Father Allah as a child, and just like through the grocery store, just like singing. She's like, look, not everybody wants to hear that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But then again, I had to understand there's a place and time as well.
Right.
So it's just like balancing those thoughts. And me being young and sensitive, I'm just like, I just won't sing anymore.
But
Right. I'll show you, huh?
That's
I love
part
it.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Every artist, producer, writer, the whole thing.
Yeah.
That goes for all of us. That happened to me too. But that's what's inside you that has to come out. Those are the gifts that the Lord gives you. And it was just stirring up. That's all.
Oh,
and it had
stir
to
up
come
the
out.
gift. Oh, you
It
better
had to
speak.
come out.
You better preach up in here.
I'm trying not to right now.
Wow.
I like that.
Can't help it.
It is Elder Troy, okay? Box, but
like
Elder
that.
Troy first. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we hear it.
Right. So that's what it is.
Yes.
And you had to get it out.
Absolutely.
And sometime, well, I'll say this. A lot of the time, when God have you do things, it's not the most popular to other people.
Say that again.
Wow. Now, please repeat that. Because somebody needs to hear that. Somebody's listening and they need to hear that.
Now, when you know that you know that you know that you know, that's the Lord speaking to you. And with no doubt. And he's leading you and he's telling you something, and you know that it works with your spirit. Yes. You know that's that connection. You know it's God. And you do these certain things, everybody else may not understand it. And it's not the most popular thing to everybody else. But I encourage you to do it. If
You just need
know
God.
it's God.
You
just
only need God.
do it.
Yeah, just do
But he
it.
tells us about the pathway.
That's right.
The straight and narrow.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But broad is the road that leads to
That's
destruction.
right.
So it's going to be broad. And you know what? We're peculiar people. We're bought by a price. So we're not going to fit in anyway. We're peculiar.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to fit in, then you've lost the battle already.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the world, that's all they do is fit in.
Yeah.
And so how can you shine unless you fit in? They had to lift him up. He said, lift me up and I'll draw all men. When they put him on the cross and lifted that cross up, then what happened? That broke the bonds. That was the start of the breaking right there. And so he had to fulfill the rest of it. But out of all the things that he went through, the suffering, the crown of thorns, everything that he went through in the manifestation of getting there, the one thing that bugged him the most is his father could not look above sin or on sin. So he had to have turned his back when his son was about to go there. He said, "Why have thou forsaken me?" All the time he was been here, and he was able to call his father and pray, and in prayer that brought that arena around him and kept him surrounded. But at that time he felt that lack of void, and he said, "Why have you forsaken me?" Because he knew that God could not look on sin. And after that part of it there, then it was time for him to rejoin his dynasty there after that part of it. So even then, he had a will to do his father's work, because people don't look into the deep. When he died, he went into the bowels of the earth, because he said he will not come until everybody hears. But there were people that died before he came in. And so those would have been people who says, "I didn't know about Christ. I didn't have a chance to know." He spoke to them down there in the bowels of the earth for 3 days until he came back. He talked to them. And I'm sure he found some people that didn't believe him then, and he found some people that believed him there. So there were some conversions down there, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? And then he said, "Watch me." And then when he left, I know there's a whole lot of people said, "Wow, no, he wasn't lying." And so there, then people could see things, manifestations. Back there when the prophets were saying things and people were lying and they were dying immediately and things happened automatically, right? Nowadays, it's grace and truth. It's his will being done. So if you follow his will, then you got to try the spirits by the spirits, because everything going out there is not gold. So you'll hear something, "Oh, it was very my spirit, very my..." That might have been something in your subconscious telling you that's your desire, and you got a desire so deeply passionate in there, that's what you want to do. But when you bring it under the light of the spirit, that was not where you're supposed to go. And so whether it's a marriage, whether it's a job, whatever, and it's not working out, God's not sitting back laughing saying, "I got you." He gives you free will. It's grace. So it's free will. So if you go out there and marry that wrong person, wrong man, with that wrong person, wrong with the wrong job, it ain't going to groove. And it's going to be confusion. And God is not a part of confusion. So when you sit back and analyze the whole scenario and you see the confusion, the hatred, dude, God didn't give you that. You gave you that. Your will. And he said, how did he say? Well, you got to pray to bring, that's the whole connection is prayer. And they asked him, "Well, pray. Well, how do we pray?" And in that prayer, he said, "Thy will be done." He let us know how to pray. Thy will be done. So if you ask him for his will, then it supersedes our will. Our job here is to lift him up, and he'll draw all men unto him. So whether you're doing it to your music, whether you're doing it in the pastoralship, whether you're doing it in your production, whatever you're doing, and you put God up, the light elevates through there, and it shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overtake the light. So I appreciate you doing what you're doing as a young lady, on focus with the music, coming out here by faith, because it had to be faith, because I'm sure you were turned around many times. You got people waiting for you back there, thought you were crazy, said, I'm sure they said, "You'll be back." I'm sure you heard that before too, huh? Yeah. Go ahead.
Listen,
we're stepping on toes here.
We got Noah right here sitting. I know that she said her name is VonTrue, but this is Noah. She built that ark. She just got busy, right?
Well,
she did it.
No, that's it.
No, I don't try to speak bad or down about the doubters, because it's just like your programming is going to make you project those thoughts.
Right.
Yes. At the end of the day, you got to... If you don't have a knowing and within yourself, and then a lot of people try to judge other people upon their standards. So I feel like if they said I couldn't do it, then they probably think they can't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Change has to come, and change only happens when it starts with you and your inner, and when you do your work.
Right.
When you do what you feel is right at the end of the day. And I just said what I feel is right. If you doubted me, I still love you.
Yeah, that's it. Right. But it doesn't change what you're gonna do. That's right. You're gonna do you anyway.
That's right.
Like it or not. That's good. That's why I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you coming in, because time flies when you're having fun, and we got about a few minutes left, but I want to still be able to go around and there's some young lady right now listening to your sound of your voice and watching this right here, because we are video and audio streaming. Take about a minute and talk to that young lady.
Good. Hello, beautiful. I just want you to know that anything's possible. And the only thing that can stop you is you. You are more powerful than you can ever imagine. You have more magic than you can ever imagine. You are able to move mountains. Just no one has told you that. So you may not believe, but you must believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you can move forward through anything, through literally anything.
Wow. That's true, and I love that. I just love that. So now let's move over to Miss Evelyn Palmer.
Yes.
Go ahead and just give me a minute and just wrap up.
I'm inspired right now. Anytime someone follows what God has given them the vision to do, you're going to be covered once you get to wherever God sends you. He will never, ever put more on you than you can bear. And also, I want you to take away right now, whatever it is, no matter how far down you feel like you are, no matter what you had to leave to journey on to where you're going, know that it's all working together. It's not me, it's the word that says that. We know all things work together for good, for those who love the Lord, for those who are called according to his purpose. Walk in your purpose.
Profound. I love it. Walk in your purpose.
Walk in your purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, let's flip over to Reverend Troy.
Wow, man.
No, let me not do it. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Hey, look here, Elder. Let's go. Let's proceed with caution. Okay, this is Elder Troy, the box. Talk to us, man.
I just want to leave you with something. Always do what God tell you. You know, like I said, it's always not the most popular thing, but if you know it's the Lord, do it. It's always going to turn out right. And I'm proud of you for knowing who God is, and also moving and living on blind faith. And that's what we do. That's the way it's supposed to be, and that just gives all honor to the Lord, and he just instructs you where to go, and he's always going to protect you, you know. And also I want to leave this Proverbs, let's see, 12. I'm giving you the address. Okay, 12 and let me see here, and 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. I want you guys to look that up and get you a Webster dictionary and look what those words really mean, so you can get the full meaning. Amen.
All right. Well, I appreciate this. This has been, like I said before, guys, this has been the Gospel Jazz Connection. I told you we'd have a good time today, so thank you for dialing in and dialing up, and that's how we do it. So tell a friend. The Gospel Jazz Connection is where it's at each and every week. On Fridays, live at 5, we do the same thing. So I'd like to thank Lady D. Get well soon so you can come and bring us the entertainment aspect of it. Miss Makita, we love your music and we love your songs today. Thank you for sharing those 2 songs and letting God manifest himself through you. No greater love. And the sisters, use the sisterhood. God gave it to you ladies for something, so do it right. And also for Miss M, she came down and she's like walking around the place looking through the studio window. But you know what? We'll nab her because she just likes to just like float through. But that's okay. Yeah, we're gonna snatch her up in here. And this is how we do it each and every week. So what I say, put God first and everything else will follow. I guarantee it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back and listen to, we're going to take you out on VonTrue's song. This is called Up High. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same channel. So until that time, be blessed. VonTrue, Up High.